Bill, let the sadness continue. The sadness.
You decide to bury the woman beside the other graves in Icevale, if only so she won't be lonely in death.
Saboteur.
You wish to mark her grave like the others, but you see no wood from which you might fashion something to do so. Didn't we see a few tree ants on the way here? Polka proffers. Tree ant timber would do the job quite well, he explains. So it's decided. You'll fell a tree ant and use its wood to mark the woman's grave.
Too easy.
Legol efficiently breaks down the tree ant. Out of nowhere, Polka starts. I've just had a brilliant idea, he yelps. Polka wishes for you to collect more tree ant timber. Are we building a whole house? Legol grouses, side-eyeing Polka. The target of his ire, however, is already off searching for tree ants.
Snap. Nope.
I expected nothing less.
Nice. Nice.
That's how it's done. Whew. I expected nothing less. This ought to be enough wood for our purposes, Polka announces with a satisfied nod. Trollis suggests you stop by the old woman's grave and place a flower on it.
I need to go get a flower first. Stage 210, good practical work.
This one cutest, she beams, and picks a single flower from the ground. Flower in hand, you make your way back to Icevale. You fashion the wood into a fine marker for her final resting place and place the flower atop it. You clasp your hands to pray, but no, something's missing. Polka. Where did Polka go?
Wait a
When
second.
did he leave? You're certain he was with you right up until you returned to the village. You have to find him. You quickly spot Polka puttering around the sand skiff. He takes notice of you too. We're all set, he chirps. You gather he's been preparing the sand skiff for your eventual departure. You take your leave of Icevale and prepare to face the end wall once more.
Douche.
As you approach the end wall, you're intimidated once more by its preposterous scale. We'll upgrade the sand skiff, you announce to the party. What sort of upgrade? Ligol asks. You give him a smug look. You say all you need to do is make it fly. Polka's glasses catch the light just so. I thought it would come to this. I'm one step ahead of you, he proclaims. On Polka's orders, you set fire to the wood you gathered earlier. The balloons now attached to the sand skiff inflate as the hot air fills them, and the skiff softly lifts off the ground. I swear I've seen something like this before. Trollis is utterly delighted by the unexpected flight. Her joy is tempered by violent gusts that grow more intense as the skiff climbs. It's a bit too dangerous to continue on, so you seek out a suitable landing spot. You strain to see through the blizzard, but you're almost certain there's enough space to land on a protrusion partway up the end wall. You bring the sand skiff in for a landing. Surveying the area, you see that there's an opening in the end wall big enough for everyone to fit through.
The 44th floor, dang, girl.
You fashion a torch from some of your sand skiff fuel and enter the cave. Get out. To battle.
Ooh, look at this cute looking place.
Battle time. Battle time. You spot two monsters chattering amongst themselves. You hide, watching them carefully as you strain to hear what they're saying.
Ice rock, hard working there. Hide treasure, yes.
The party hastily scribbles down the snatches of conversation they've heard. You saw more than your fair share of iced-over rocks on the way here. Might the beasts have stashed the treasure somewhere amongst them? While you were lost in thought, the monsters went about their business and vacated the premises. You gather up everyone's notes and stuff them into your pack. You'll be on the lookout for places matching the description you've heard. Battle time. Battle time. I expected nothing less. tiny sphere of pure light appears before you, gently floating in the air. You lean in to give it a closer look. Your eyes refocus, revealing the form of a fairy, the likes of which you've only ever seen in books. A fearsome beast lies within this wall. You'd best go home if you value your life, the fairy said, but you'll heed no such advice. After all, the fairy's probably a monster themselves. You press on. The fairy fades from view, revealing a horde of agitated monsters. They lunge at you. Battle time. The monster's taken care of. You look warily this way and that. No sign of the fairy. You continue on, carefully. Though you've clearly ascended, the cave has brought you once again to the end wall's exterior. The only way up from here is straight up the end wall's sheer face.
Nice. Let's do it.
Get him. You take notice of a light above your head as you clamber up the wall. You raise your head in time to see a massive snowball hurtling toward you. You somehow manage to dodge the snowball, only for the sound of someone snickering to reach your ears. Battle time. Get him. The path before you is littered with bones. Polka picks one up and examines it. Just then, another ball of light appears before you. But this one seems different than the last. The Frost Primal lives here. I think it'd be wise to turn around and leave, the fairy says, clearly trying to be helpful. That sure sounds like a trap to you. The party readies their weapons. The fairy fades from view, revealing a horde of slobbering monsters. They set upon you at once. those bones? Were they all the fairy's hapless victims? Among them may well be the remains of the old woman's son. One thing's certain. Next time they appear, you're not letting those fairies get away. You feel a slight tremor and look up to see a massive snowball hurtling toward you from above. You summon the flame primal and melt it before it hits you. You lock your eyes on the top of the end wall. To find that snowball was but the first of many. You can't possibly hope to melt them all. You'd bet your card case this is those fairies doing it. We'll just have to avoid them as we climb, Rigol says, perhaps concerned after you overextended yourself in Icevale.
Alright, let's do this.
You make your way past the treacherous snowballs and find another passage inside the face of the cliff. It's not too far to the top now. Seeing how little is left fills you with enough determination to keep going.
actually, really nice.
Get him.
Hold up, my buddy's coming.
Battle time. your torch goes out unexpectedly. You summon the flame primal and light it once more. Is everyone still here? Are they unharmed? Yes, it seems so. You let out a sigh of relief and continue onward. You hear Polka and Trollis speaking in oddly high-pitched voices behind you. They want to turn back after you've come all this way? Polka and Trollis don't sound like themselves. They're both excitable in their own ways, but never quite like this. Legol whips around and puts his back to yours. Draw your weapon, he snarls. Polka and Trollis click their tongues at you, then lurch forward and attack. The imposters posing as Polka and Trollis disappear. You hear voices from further within the cave as they vanish. Frost Primal? You repeat, a confusion interrupted by the sight of Polka and Trollis walking briskly to your side. According to Polka, he and Trollis were dropped to the This is more like them. The real Trollis and Polka have returned. Your hand flies to your weapon instinctively. The rest of the party follows your lead and prepares for a fight gladly. You signal to the rest of the party and charge into combat. well? So, you aren't the first. The Frost Primal confirms your worst fears with a deep, rumbling laugh. You let out a piercing scream that gives way to a howl of agony for those lost.
The Frost Primal is mighty, but if you work together...
sometimes you get lucky. Beautiful. 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 That's how it's done. The frost primal seems to vanish before your eyes, but you soon realize there are two fairies in its place. Ugh, here we go again. They explain that they can shapeshift and were behind all this trouble. You ask if they truly did kill all the people of Icevale. They exchange glances and break out in a fit of giggles. They let out an innocent laugh. lift your sword high overhead. Their laughter suggests it really was just a game to them. Maybe they have a different sense of good and evil than humans do. But that doesn't absolve them of their crimes. Your arms tense, and you swing. The fairies mock you mercilessly. In one slash, Legol slices them cleanly in two. That's what I'm here for, he growls. Well, you won't be making cards out of them now that Legol sliced them in half. Still, you have no regrets. You were going to cut them down yourself. Onward. Leaving, Trollis chirps, once again her usual chipper self. You work your way deeper and deeper into the end wall, until it seems you can go no further. Polka suggests you return to the Sandskiff, which seems as good an idea as any. You agree to head back to the Sandskiff as quickly as possible. You exit the cave to find the blizzard has subsided. Polka ventures a guess that the fairies might have been behind the blizzard as well. Either way, there's nothing stopping you now. You should be able to ascend the rest of the way in the Sandskiff. You gaze up at the impossibly blue sky as the balloons inflate, and you gently lift off once more. At last, you float over the top. You knew this wall was not the end. Having made your way over the end wall, you are faced with a vast forest. Using a telescope Polka had been carrying, you search for a place to alight. From the look of it, there is only one safe place to land. You find the best place to alight and safely return to solid ground. Polka gazes at the surroundings appreciatively. He tells you that he has never seen a land so verdant in all his life. You can't argue with him. Greenery swathes the area all around you. The group shrieks the words in unison. The cold is even more biting here than on the end wall. In no way could people live in temperatures like this. You decide to confer with the others on your next course of action. You ask Trollus's opinion on what to do next. She munches on a piece of fruit. You're not entirely sure where she found it. In fact, she has a whole armful. She hands you one and motions for you to have a bite. The place is bitterly cold, but it is replete with trees and greenery and delicious fruit like this. It seems that New Terra is as incredible as the rumors said. You ask Polka's opinion on what to do next. He replies, "While we were flying, I saw what looked like a village. And if I recall correctly, it was that way, he says, pointing to the northeast. You ask Legol's opinion on what to do next, but he offers no more than a shrug and a grunt. The group decides to go with Polka's idea for now, and sets off in the direction of what he thought was a village.
Get him.
You discover a village nestled in a mass of trees. However, the place is quiet. For caution's sake, you'd best keep your guard up if you're going to enter. The group enters the village. You can see traces indicating the place must have been inhabited, but no sign of any people. The place is still as death, a ghastly atmosphere hanging in the air. Legol seems to be frightened of something. Might he scare easily in places like this? In any event, you want more information. You decide to investigate the village. walls are riddled with claw marks and bloodstains. Was this place attacked by monsters? Recalling the subterranean village, you cover your mouth and drop your head. Feel sick? Trollus asks, worried about you. With your eyes cast downward, you spot what appears to be a scrap of paper with a drawing on it. This place must have been a weapons shop of some kind. You note a number of still usable weapons arrayed on its shelves and walls. No small number of them look like implements of torture. You and the others give the distasteful shop a quick once-over and decide to be quit of the place. This place looks like it was an inn. With a little tidying up, it should be perfectly usable. Lagol is clearly not in favor of the idea. We're not seriously going to sleep here, are we? Polka counters that not only is there nowhere else to sleep, but critically, it won't cost anything to rest here. Having argued down Lagol's disagreement, the group decides to sleep at the inn. After getting a bare minimum of rest, you leave the inn. Within the small building, you find some things that look like laboratory equipment, along with a sturdy-looking cage. Legol says, "Let's hurry and get out of here." The fright in his voice is plain. You suppose he really doesn't like unsettling places like this. You feel a bit of guilt at the thought, but can't help but find it a little cute to see Legol acting so unlike his usual stoic self. As Legol hurries everyone along, Polka inspects the equipment. He manages to locate a scrap of paper with some kind of drawing on it. On the shelves, you spy a number of salves, poultices, and other medicinals. Maybe this place was an apothecary. Polka says that several of the items could be of use, so you decide to borrow them, minus the especially suspicious-looking ones. Upon the walls of the sturdy building, there is a single word written in crude lettering. Help. Gazing at the writing, all the color drains from Legol's face, and he looks ready to make a run for it. You reach out a hand to comfort him, but as you do, you spot a scrap of paper at his feet with what looks like a drawing on it. Having given the village a once-over, you decide to return to the inn ruin for the time being and review what you've learned. However, you don't have a clear picture of what happened here. Absent any other ideas, you take the scraps of paper you found during your search and lay them out on top of a desk. Looking at the images on the scraps, Polka realizes that they must have originally formed a single page. With the scraps assembled properly, they form what appears to be a map. Looking closely, you spot a flower drawn in one particular location.
Right, sorry, I was talking to my homie. Looking closely, spun another flower drawn.
Something
Another flower.
about it calls to mind a childhood memory for Polka.
Oh. What's this interesting thing? You did such a good job, Polka. You're going to be just like Mommy and Daddy someday. See a monster also.
Polka stands dazed and unmoving. You ask if anything is wrong, but he replies, "No, nothing at all." Breaking the reverie, a something black as midnight assails the party. You
Oh, yeah, I
reach
got
for your
that
weapon,
primal
ready to fend
ice or
off
whatever.
a monster. But when you take a look,
It's just some douchebag. That doesn't look like a monster. What is that? It's attacking. That's what it is. Pay
the goal
attention.
of upgrading brings you back to the moment, and you grip your weapon tight, ready to fight.
Oh, it's these shadow
Battle
monsters
time.
again. Attacks. Okay. Let's see if this works. Why not? Nope. It's a waste. Oh, okay.
Oh!
Oh, I like that. Error 29, error sky 32.
The monster-like thing's attacks are ferocious, like darkness come to life.
What?
It
It's
steadily
done like no
wears you
damage to
down.
me. What are you talking about? This thing's
Troll
weird.
seems to be feeling the same unease you are in regards to the creature.
What do I do here? It's 34. That's gonna be 23. Good for the poison. Oh, I like the defense down though. Let's just do this. That's pretty weak, son. I get it now. I like them apples. Victory tastes so sweet. Look at that, across the board.
You've managed to defeat the creature and hold a card aloft to seal it.
But it's not a monster.
It doesn't seem to work, though.
Ruh-roh.
Maybe this really isn't a monster after all. A little troublesome having to deal with all these unknown foes, isn't it? Exclaims Polka. The four of you decide to run for it.
Good call.
But when you turn,
Oh.
you find Steelborough soldiers blocking your path, trapping you.
These people never
Perhaps
quit.
they're in pursuit of those responsible for killing everyone in the Senate. The goal clicks his tongue.
Please pick one.
In the hopes of escaping the pursuers, you have no choice but to charge headlong into the black creatures. However, the Steelborough soldiers ignore you and start to fight with the creatures. The thought of just running for it crosses your mind. But the soldiers are still people. You can't just leave them to die.
Or can we?
The soldiers don't wait for your help and manage to bring down the shadowy creatures. Polka shouts his appreciation to the soldiers. "Thank you so much." They turn to look at you and Polka, and with a nod, they attack you this time. To battle.
To battle. I like that. Oh, that was excellent in every possible way.
You manage to defeat the Steelborough soldiers. You question one of them, asking how many of them are pursuing you.
Filthy
In the next
Traitors!
instant, the soldier is back on its feet and rushing at you. Legol turns to you. "We shouldn't linger here." Abiding his suggestion, you decide to hurry away from the place.
I do need to get ready for bed though.
You decide to ask your friends what to do next.
Who will you ask? Let's ask my trellis.
Trollis waves her hands about vigorously. Still good to go. And with that, she indicates that she'll follow you. "We should press on through New Terra," says Polka. He is curious about the mark on the map, thinking of the Guru of Lightville and her claim that what you seek would be in New Terra. New Terra's dangerous, Legol says. Now that we know, we should just go back. You can't
No.
deny the truth of what
We're
he's
not gonna do
saying,
that.
given what just transpired in the village. Nonetheless, you tell the others, "I want to keep exploring New Terra." "You're cured fine, but I'm going back after we check that spot out," Legol says, with no attempt to mask the displeasure in his voice. Polka looks carefully at the map and determines that the mark indicates a location north of where you are, between snow-capped mountains.
Right after this, I'm gonna look at this thing and then go. Or did I not get the ice pearl? Oh, that's so interesting. Huh. Oh, hey, what's up?
You toss the telescope over your shoulder and race toward the monster, but the monster has sensed your presence and whirls around to meet your attack. Battle time. Upon seeing your card with the monster sealed inside, Polka exclaims, I've only ever read about this, and monsters are all the same. You mutter under your breath and slip the card into your case. You turn to find the source of the voice, and who should you find but you're floored by his hustle, but pull yourself together enough to offer a tiny wave in reply.
battle.
I made one move before I started this, so my bad. My bad.
The merchant's eyes are starry and bright. This is his first glimpse of Nuterra. You ask the man how he managed to scale the end wall, and he raises 2 bloodied palms to show you.
Oh my goodness, what in the world? This game.
Why, it seems as though he climbed over himself in pursuit of your group. He laughs off your surprise. It was nothing. Not when there's business to be doing. You recoil
Fair.
a bit, but are nonetheless glad to have the chance to do some shopping.
Okay. Sit up, I got the ice creams. See if he's just gonna give it to me like that goblin child thing. I was honestly surprised. Used to be a more powerful beast. Oh, whatever. The yummy things. Okay. Oh, nothing. Oh, I got some more. Oh. Feels bad.
The bizarre rock transformed into a fear rock. The only way out of this fight is through it. As you forge on through the snow, you come across a tattered doll covered in deep gashes. Gashes that could only be made by monster claws. The doll appears to be covered in dark red blood. You don't want to think about the fate that befell its owner. The smell of all that blood is going to attract more monsters, the rest of the party warns. Someone must be missing it, you insist, and place the bloody doll into your pack.
It's a lot of lentils.
You toss the telescope aside and sprint toward it. The monster scrambles about in a panic, finally tossing something at your head in desperation. You throw your hand up in time to catch it, but that bought the monster time enough to gather itself and flee.
Ooh.
Blood smell. With those words, a monster appears before you, nose twitching. There'll be no getting out of this fight. Get him!
Ooh, fun.
There's no doubt about it. The bloody doll's scent attracted the monster. You'd better find its owner before it draws any more bloodthirsty beasts to you. Even if it means leaving the doll by a corpse. The party silently watches as you place the doll back into your pack. Everyone knows what must be done.
Oh, she got paralyzed. I need to pay more attention to this stuff. So why is this going on?
A masterful victory! Get him!
I feel like this slowed down. Yeah, it was back to normal. That's better. Oh, so much better. Really, something feels really off. What's going on here?
to battle.
I don't know if it healed me.
According to Polka, the place that the map marker indicates should be around here. You can detect the telltale signs of life nearby. Could there be a village? It may be worth a visit. You notice telltale signs of monsters, too. To your surprise, you realize that there is a settlement of monsters just ahead. The mark on the map looks like it's pointing to this village. It seems like it could be dangerous to approach. You judge that it would be too dangerous to approach and suggest getting far from the town. However, with uncommon zeal, Polka suddenly bursts out, "Please, you have to let me investigate the place." He explains that the mark drawn on the map looks much like his mother's hand. You truly do want to agree to his request, but it would be reckless to a fault if you just marched right in without preparing. The fairies you encountered on the end wall were masquerading as Polka and Trollus. So, wouldn't that mean you could use this powder to disguise yourselves? You suggest to the others that you use the fairy dust to disguise yourselves as monsters. Though reluctant to assume such a form, you're left with little other recourse. You and the others use the fairy dust and transform into monsters. Trollus seems somehow pleased with her newfound fuzziness. Certainly more pleased than Legol, who is rather less than happy about his new monster form. At any rate, the transformation has afforded you the opportunity to safely infiltrate the village, and you set off to do so. It looks like no humans live in this village. Instead, the monsters seem to have a thriving culture of their own. You can't hide your surprise that they live just like humans, and your mouth drops open. Polka whispers into your ear, "Let's hurry and look around this place before they find out what we really are." The monster offers you a ball and says, "I'm much too noble. Couldn't possibly play with something like this. Throw me something more valuable," the monster says, tail wagging back and forth out of a desire to play. "Here, fetch," you say, throwing something from your pack. The monster zips after it, tongue lolling with delight. The monster returns quickly, something clutched in mouth, but not what you threw. The monster running the inn can sing a tune so sweet, it seems it'll have you sound asleep in moments and dreaming sweet, rejuvenating dreams. How about a nice rest? Someone calls as you approach the inn. The monster running the weapon shop explains that they sell weapons stolen from adventurers.
We got 10,000 gold. Let's read to their items. Let me go to item shop.
"I'm so hungry," the bone monster says, theatrically patting the void where its stomach would be. It keeps stealing glances over at you. Polka signals to you with his eyes to just ignore it. The creature is clearly fishing for a response. Trollis, however, takes the bait. But no stomach? Great. Yes. I just think it's funny that this monster is like making dad jokes. "That's right," chatters the monster with delight, its joints cricking and cracking. "That's why I'm so hungry. It always goes right through me." After you enter the dimly lit shop, you notice its monster owner sighing. You ask if something is wrong, and it explains that it doesn't have enough dishes to feed the pets in the shop. After taking a good look at you, the owner asks, "Would you be willing to get a plate from the nearby village?" You don't especially want to help a monster, but Polka convinces you by saying, "It probably wouldn't hurt for us to ingratiate ourselves to the locals." All the goods on offer have been stolen from one adventurer or another. The shopkeep impresses upon you just how useful they'll be. Someday, Someday, the monster says, trembling all over. The monster cackles ominously. I may have shed my earthly shell, but I haven't lost my love of games. This is the game parlor. A monster calls out, "Want to play cards?" You leave the village and quickly undo the transformation. You don't find it terribly enjoyable to remain in monster form.
Ooh.
There is a single word written in crude lettering on the wall. Help. Highly trembling, Legol says, "We got what we came for. No point sticking around any longer." He's not wrong. You could be attacked at any time by one of those shadowy creatures. You all agree to hurry back to town. You use some of the fairy powder to change form into a monster and slip back into the town of monsters. The monster accepts the plate from you and immediately sets about preparing food for the pets. You hear the shuffling of feet on the floor as the hungry pets answer the owner's call. But then you realize what the pets are.
They're humans.
Humans. Eat up. You're all very, very important gifts, the monster coos with a smile.
What do you do?
You might want to help the humans, but it would probably be best to do so after looking around town some more. With starry, lovelorn eyes, the sprite says, "How I wish to see him again." Upon hearing the details from her, you think the object of her longing sounds a bit like Legol. Ha! As if, the monster snorts with laughter. The doors of the magnificent mansion open, and a delightfully fluffy monster comes out. The monster says, "Spend all the time you want. Our village is yours." It looks as though this is the local mayor. The mayor looks at Polka in surprise, and then narrows his eyes. He explains that Polka reminds him a lot of a friend of his from long ago. Hoping to win the mayor over, Polka rattles off a lie. Yes, I'm his descendant." The mayor is apparently the credulous sort, and is convinced. He offers a memento of his old friend.
Itchy eyes.
"You're not gonna win contest like that," one of the monsters says breathlessly. The trio seems worked up about something. When you ask what kind of contest it is, the monsters leap around and reply, "Jumping contest." "Higher, higher, higher," the monsters say, hopping and jumping with gusto. There are humans locked in the cages. You can't turn a blind eye to this. "This is barbaric. How dare you treat humans this way?" you scream. The monster looks at you in surprise. "What you talking about?" You draw your weapon and brandish it at them. you've managed a clean victory over the pet shop owner. Your conviction is renewed that monsters are beasts to be despised for the suffering they cause humans. The people freed from the cages look terrified and are unable to even speak. Well, now what? Says Legol. Your reply is cool and composed.
I take down all the monsters at times.
Polka agrees with your assessment. We'll be found out before long, and there's little else we can do to save so many people. In a tiny voice, Legol replies, "Yeah, right." He looks out of the shop window and surveys the town.
Get him.
Wish I could have eaten my fill one last time, the monster says, before issuing a particularly dry death rattle.
Beautiful.
Maybe poetic justice, the Yeti says. These words are its last. At last, true rest, the monster says, before its eyes close forever.
Ooh.
The monster lets out a clipped whine, and then lies down for the last time. Battle time. We practiced so much, the monster says. They have hopped their last.
I get through this and I'll fall asleep.
I expected nothing less. I've already lost my body. I know when to fold, the monster says, before giving up the ghost. Battle time.
just a couple more.
I'm going to die without my revenge, the monster says, its final words oozing out before it passes on. I wish I could have seen him one more time, the monster says before issuing its dying breath. It looks like you've defeated all of the monsters in the village. You decide that there's no longer any need to remain in monster form and undo your transformations. But at that moment, a giant monster stomps up to your group. The monster's teeth gnash in fury.
Well,
Seeing
you're running
you
okay
and
longer.
Legol has jogged something in its memory.
You people from
Your
the turned.
eyes go wide hearing the creature's words. You remember that scar on its eye. It can't be. Was this the monster that attacked the subterranean village?
Maybe this is why I came back alive to revenge friends who
Never
got
would
killed.
you have imagined you'd run into this monster here. You grab your weapon and let out a guttural scream. You have a history with this one, but
Ugh.
don't lose your cool.
Oof. Oh god, much better. Holy cow, get out of here. Some locals.
You stand over the fallen monster and raise your sword high. This is for everyone you killed. Looking at you, the monster speaks in a soft voice. What you did here, any different? The scarred monster destroyed your home, and now you've destroyed its.
Me, you, exact same.
Shut up, says Legol. He steps forward and thrusts his sword at the monster in your place. You shake your head and stop him. You know you have to do this yourself. You've had your revenge. Maybe killing this monster was the whole reason for this trip. Yet the monster's words stick with you, like a tiny bone lodged in your throat. Legol notices you brooding and speaks, his voice full of concern. Don't let it worry you. The village mayor comes over, looking at you as though he wishes to speak.
What do you do?
You decide to listen to the mayor. The mayor speaks in a quiet voice as he tells you how this town came to be.
This town is established to protect the entrance to a special ruins for long years of filling the role
After
are over.
finishing, the mayor hands you a key to his residence. He explains that the entrance to the ruins can be found in the basement of his home. There is something there, a truth you ought to know. He continues, "Now my duty is done. Will you kill me quickly?"
I miss my friend. It's time I go to him. Kill the mayor?
You bring down your sword on the monster. With a final word of thanks, the mayor dies. You need to go to the mayor's residence and find whatever this truth is that you must know.
What time is it? It's time for bed.
You unlock the door of the manor with the mayor's key and enter. A quick search turns up a staircase leading to the basement the mayor mentioned. Trollis points down and asks, "Truth down there?" Polka mutters, "What could it be we ought to know?" Legol's eyes are fixed ahead. He does not say anything. You swallow hard and then gingerly take the first step down the stairs to the basement.
I got my Ice Primal card now. Last our heroes reached New Terra. Vast tract of land stretches out before them. Upon which sits a village where monsters keep humans as pets. Something stunned by this sudden turn of events. Heroes fight to free those imprisoned. Last of monsters' final words. Be the exact same. Plunge a girl's spirit in the shadows. Past this prologue.
You make your way down the stairs. As you make your way through the dark, the words of the scarred monster come back to you.
Be the exact same.
The monsters were just like you, living in their town. They grieved for the deaths of their fellows and sought revenge. The thought sticks in your mind as you make your way forward. Before you know it, you've found your way into a cold, unnatural-looking passage.
Keep your wits about you and proceed. What even are monsters?
Having
really?
heard your muttering, Polka speaks up. I'd like to know that myself. Trollis hums pensively, her head inclined in confusion. Legol says nothing. The ruins looming before you elicit a gasp. Huge, elaborate stone structures dot the area, their shapes completely unfamiliar to your eye. "What are those?" asks Trollis, yet not even Polka can answer. You and your friends continue to make your way through the ruins. overcome all the while by the imposing unknown structures. As you make your way through the ruins, the light of curiosity shines brighter and brighter in Polka's eyes. Seeing this, Legol nonchalantly takes hold of Polka's sleeve, perhaps out of caution, to keep him from wandering off. There are white lines painted in a striped pattern along the ground, which Trollis cheerfully hops back and forth over. The lines cut off, and you discover someone standing where they terminate.
Trespassers found, must tell
We'll have
mother.
trouble if it tells its friends we're here. Come on, says Legol as he draws his weapon. The monster tries to flee, but you and your friends attack. Battle time. I'm sorry, Mother, the creature says before collapsing. Another monster with a mother. Polka mutters. At this, Trollis pipes up. Other ones said mother too.
Hey.
Now that she mentions it,
Yeah,
I do
that's
feel
about
as
to go
though
to
we've
bed.
heard
So
a
maybe
different
pause this.
monster mention of mother.
Where did you hear
You remember. The fairy at the end wall said, "Ooh, we'll tell mother on you." Polka frowns when you mention the fairy from the end wall. He goes on to point out the possibility that mother does not refer to a literal mother per se, but a presence that governs all monster kind. This mother might well be deeper within these ruins. All of you agree to proceed with utmost caution.
Alright, wrap it up here.